Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, what's up, guys? All right, welcome. So today we're going to be modding Warzone 2100. Um, so let's get right into it. We'll start by going to the GitHub. So basically everything you see here, it's pretty much for developers only. The only thing we're pretty much going to be concerned with today is just the source folder, which is all the source code. And then once you compile and install the game, basically you'll end up with a data folder like this. Base is just for the base game. When you install the game, it looks like this. So this is my installation folder here. And then in the data folder you have base, which is just the base game for campaign, and P is for multiplayer. And I guess we'll quickly go through this. So basically audio is pretty straightforward. It's for audio campaign. It's just a text description of the campaign, components. These are all the graphical models for the bodies, the propulsions, the weapons. Effects, that's pretty much like the explosions, the graphical model for the for any of the effects. Features, it's pretty much all the inanimate objects on the map, like your trees, rocks, stuff like that. Fonts, it's pretty much pretty straightforward. Images, pretty straightforward. Messages, so whenever you research something in the game, there's a kind of like a textual description of what you researched. That's what this is. MISC is SMISC, miscellaneous, just miscellaneous graphical models. Script, this is all the behavior in the campaign. We'll get into this a little bit later. Sequence audio is pretty straightforward. It's just the audio for all the videos in the game. Shaders, it's related to the graphics. Stats, this is what we'll be working on today, mostly just the stats. This is really the meat and potatoes of the game, where everything really happens, in my opinion. It's all the interesting stuff. Structs is just the graphical models for the structures. Text pages, just the graphical models supplemented, the actual image form. And then the tiles for the maps, those are in here. So we'll just take a quick look real quick. Just the random tile. These are all the tiles for Urban, Arizona, and Rocky. The tile sets. This is the behavior of the tile sets, like what you describe as a cliff or how the certain tiles interact with each other. And then for WRF, this is where all the maps are at for the campaign. And that's pretty much it. That's the entire game right there. And then MP is for multiplayer. Pretty straightforward as well. Animations, challenges are challenges. Components as well, it's just the bodies, propulsions, and weapons again. Effects we already went over, messages, multiplayer. These are the multiplayer maps. Script, so this is what enables the technology. This is the scavenger behavior, the weather. Skirmish, these are all the AIs are at. Stats, again, this is where, in my opinion, most of the stuff happens, and we're going to be spending all day pretty much in this. Structs are the structures. Tests are tests. I'm not even sure. I've never even been on that folder. Then WRF again. I don't really think that has too much of a purpose in multiplayer, but that's it. That's pretty much the entirety of the game. So let's take a look at the stats. So the stats are pretty straightforward. We'll just take a look at the machine gun really quick. It's the very first weapon in the game. Alright, so the very first weapon in the game, the machine gun. If you want to know how long it takes to build, that's essentially what this attribute is. The build power, how much it costs, what's the damage, if it's designable, The effect size, that's the graphical effect for when it hits something. Well, you can pretty much see these are all pretty straightforward. So you can modify this in a text file as such, but it's a lot easier to do it in Excel. So I made an editor for that. And basically all I did was just went to the internet, found some online service. Oops. And you can just paste the JSON in there, and then you can download an Excel version of it. And you'll see it's a lot easier to look at the stats in Excel. From there, what I did is I just added some pretty formatting to make it a lot more readable. And then I added an export button so that I can export this. And that's pretty much it. So I have an agenda of what we can mod today. And we'll start off by adjusting the fortress stats. So let's get right into it. I pretty much fly through these menus. I've done this thousands of times. I usually use this map for testing. It's pretty good for testing. So to test anything out, you just start off by typing cheat on. That'll enter debug mode, and then you press Ctrl-O. You'll get the debug menu. And this is just basically a shortcut way of doing whatever you want. So as I said, we're going to adjust the fortress stats, because I got some cool ideas how we can make these better. So we'll just pull these out really quick. One sheet for revealing the map is DD, so you just type that. And let's place some fortresses.
Structure under attack. Structure under attack. Artifact detected. Structure under attack. Artifact detected. Structure under attack.
So one of the problems I noticed right away is with this fortress here, it doesn't really fire consistently. And I think I have an idea of why that is. So I'll go in the stats editor.
Structure under attack.
Let me pause this really quick. So basically, as I showed you before, this weapons JSON, this is just a flattened version of it in Excel. It's a two-dimensional view of it. And we're just going to filter out by fortresses. So here's all the fortress stats. These are the attributes up here. And these are all the things we can change. So for this particular fortress here, the twin machine gun, I think that it doesn't fire consistently because the recoil value here. Let's see, which one is this? This one here. So yeah, it has a high recoil value. I think if we reduce that, it'll have the behavior that we want. You can see the recoil. Watch. You see how much it jerks back and forth. Originally, I was thinking that a larger turret should have a higher recoil, but it probably doesn't make sense, so I think we're going to reduce that down to 25. We'll see what that does.
Artifact detected.
This turret here,
Artifact detected.
yeah, I really don't like the graphical effects on it. I think we can make it better. So you can see right there how big of an explosion this thing makes. It's not very big. In fact, I think it's the same graphical model used on the smaller version.
Structure under attack.
So I just want to sit back and watch the behavior of these really quick to see what we can improve. Alright, so check this out. So the actual projectile for this thing you can see here, it's kind of small and not proportionate to the size of the cannon. And that stat, let me close this out. That stat for that weapon is here. Where is it? Yeah, the flight graphics. So yeah, I think that's what it is. Let me see. Super Plasma Cannon Fortress. Oh, that's the structure name, not the turret name. I'm pretty sure this is it. Alright, so this is the graphical model for the actual projectile. I guess I should have probably explained and told you before that I'm using a mod that I've already been working on for years. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the projectile here to be, I don't know, we could probably make that 5 times the size of that. So let's do that. So I'm pretty sure this is going to be in the effects folder. This is the name we're looking for here, FXSH. Oh, you know, I think this is not modded. This is part of the base game, so let's just go to the base. Actually, I think it's in the multiplayer effects. Yeah, there it is right there. So I'm just going to make a random folder on my desktop. Probably not a good name. Oh, why is this not copying and pasting? Oh my goodness. Alright, there we go. So I'm not a graphics person, but I know how to modify these in Notepad. Basically, this is the size of the polygons here. So we're going to make this 5 times as large. So let's just do that really quick. And then I'm going to rename this so that it doesn't affect anything else that was previously using the original. I'm just going to append FT for Fortress at the end. And then I'll just add it into this mod. Oh, you got to quit the game first. And then I'm just going to change that, and that should be it.
On our way.
So all I do is I just basically click the export button, and then you can check the timestamp. You'll see it's right now. I'll just copy and paste all these stat files into the stats, and that's it. So let's see if we did that correctly.
Structure under attack.
Yeah, definitely much better. Oh, maybe that's a little bit too big. That looks a little funky. Hold on, let's see. Whoops, missed it. Yeah, that's a little bit too big. Well, I don't know, maybe. So the actual explosion is not proportionate either to the size of the projectile. We're going to fix that next. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit too big. Well, I guess before we restart the game, we'll check the other changes we made. So the other change we made, we reduced the recoil on the other fortress.
Artifact detected. Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
Yeah, that looks better.
Artifact detected.
I also think this turret should rotate slower than this one.
Artifact.
So I'm going to modify the weights on that really quick. So right now it's at 200,000. I guess we could go 150,000. And then for the plasma cannon, we'll go 250. I think these actually overflow at 250, and it kind of resets back to 0. So I'm pretty sure 250 is the upper limit for this. Actually, while we're here, we might as well just redo all these weights. Let's see.
Artifact detected.
So this, the Nexus turret link, that should probably rotate fairly quick, given its size. So we're going to make that, let's go 125. Oh, what just happened? Let's check the logs. Ooh, I've never seen this before. It's probably something to do with the file we just modified. Anyways, let's paste that in now that the game's restarted. Just go ahead and export all these.
On our way.
Structure under attack. Structure under attack. Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
So that looks better somewhat. It's kind of pixelated, but at least it's proportional. You can kind of tell it's two-dimensional as well when you it's like a flattened look. But I think it's a little bit better. Too bad it's kind of pixelated, but
Artifact detected.
okay. So the cannon will say 230. EMP Fortress. I don't even remember what this looks like. Let's see. Oh, right, yeah. How big is this turret? Oh, that thing is huge. We'll go 250 for that.
Artifact detected.
Plasmite rail. I think we can go 225 for that. The heavy laser we'll leave at 200, and actually I think we want to modify the explosion on that.
Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
Check out how small this is. Pretty sure this is... Yeah, look at that. That's pathetic. So, let's see if we can fix that. Pretty sure that is... Oh, that's the sound effect. Oh, you know what? That's right. I think there's a separate attribute specifically for that. Let's see what happens if we set that to 500. I can't remember.
On our way.
Actually, we'll just go ahead and do that right now. So that's a little bit better, but I'm curious now, what's the difference between adjusting the effect size as opposed to just resizing the graphical model? So the actual graphical model is here, it's under the hit effects. Yeah, I'm not seeing this, where the actual effect is at. Maybe it's under misc? No. Alright, we'll have to bust out a regex to find this. Oh, that's not what I want. That searches every file line by line. No, we need the actual file name. I don't know if I did that right. Say what? Apparently it isn't base. Am I not seeing this right? Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, I guess I didn't see the F there. I thought this was sorted in alphabetical order. Okay, never mind. So it's there. Where's our MISC folder? Here we are. So I wonder what happens if we just double these values.
On our way.
Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
Honestly, I don't see the difference. That's still kind of small, actually. And the projectile's small as well. Let's make the projectile bigger. Basically, it was a bad idea to make a folder on my desktop because I can't extract things there, so this is not really straightforward. I don't know if I could just paste this somewhere else. Let's see. Just paste this here, maybe? No. And there we go. So it's kind of skinny. Obviously, you can tell by the dimensions here how it's long and skinny. Oh, hold on. So the 3 obviously represents the width, and then 88 represents the length. So we're just going to make this 25. We'll see.
On our way.
I did. Whoops, I pasted the stats in the wrong folder. Whoops.
Structure under attack.
There we go. It's a little bit better, I guess. It's proportionate to the size of the barrel, at least. And what does the explosion look like again? Whoa. Oh, whoa. That's not what we had last time. Okay, so now I see the difference between the effect size and the graphical size. Maybe that's... I don't know, I gotta see it in real time. That's a little bit too big, maybe?
Structure under attack. Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
I don't know, I have mixed feelings on it. I guess we can come back to it.
Structure under attack.
I will say the rate of fire on that's a little bit too big, though. I don't have this sped up, do I?
Structure under attack.
No, that's the actual game speed. That's a little bit too fast for a big fortress like that. So what's the reload time on this? 0. Well, that will explain that. And then the fire pause. There you go. So that's only 16. This should probably be like same thing as the cannon, or around there. I would say maybe 70, 60. I don't know. We'll 70. Alright, so you guys get the basic idea of what we're doing there. I think we can move on to some other stuff. I'll take the rest of that offline. So let's move to the commander stats, because this thing is notorious for being the worst turd in the game, even though it's got a structure dedicated to it. So I think, I mean, I've visited this multiple times, and every time I've come to the conclusion that this turret just needs a complete overhaul from the source code. There's not really you can do from a modding perspective to actually fix this. The only thing I can think of is maybe if we enable the penetration attribute such that when it shoots, it goes through things like the Gaussian weapons. So we'll turn that on and then maybe give it a splash radius. We'll see what that does. So we'll say the radius damage is 2. The actual weapon itself, it does 3 damage. So we'll just say the radius is 2 damage. The actual radius itself, this is measured in tiles, and each tile is 128 pixels. So I wonder what would happen if we gave it a 2 tile splash radius. And I think for the radius life, let me compare this to other turrets to see what's reasonable. No, yeah, they're pretty much all 10. So we'll just stick with 10, which I believe is 1 second, or maybe 1/10 of a second. Before we actually make these changes, let's just see the original
Structure
behavior.
under attack.
These are extra propulsions
Structure
that I
under
added in from
attack.
other people's mods, graphical mods. This is the Art Revolution propulsions here.
Structure under attack.
Then you can see I just added in the Art Revolution turrets side by side. So assuming I have a commander turret
Artifact detected.
and
Artifact detected. Assigned to commander.
this thing is terrible.
Artifact detected. Unit under attack. Artifact detected. Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Unit.
Alright, so it pretty much doesn't do anything on its own. The whole purpose and the benefit of it was to give people, or droids, extra experience. We can tweak that as well. In fact, let's do that right now. So in stats, there's a brain JSON file. That's where the commander experience is. I already had this mod at one time. I don't know how I lost it, so I'm going to add this back in really quick. And you can see these are the thresholds for the experience ranks, which are ridiculous. So basically, to get to the next, or the second level of experience, you would need 8 kills. And if you've ever played a multiplayer game, you know that most droids are never going to get more than 8 kills, let alone 1,000. So this is way out of scale. I think something more appropriate would be something like this, maybe. We'll see what that does. And then the max number of droids, I guess we could bump this up to 10. And then I forget what this does. But let's just see what we have right now with our changes.
On our way.
Oh, whoops, we gotta design it first.
Unit under attack.
So now, if the radius so you can see that the radius damage is working because it's shooting this, but things around it are being damaged. At least the wall next to it, maybe not this one over here. So that's good. So, oh, and then what about the penetrate effect? Let's see if that's working. It's not too bad. It's somewhat of an improvement. I don't understand how this thing is leveling up though without kills. Maybe it's some combination of points. This looks really funny with the recoil. It's like the rabbit ears are bouncing back and forth. We should probably get rid of the recoil on this thing permanently. Oh, it's 0. Well, I don't know what's going on then. That looks really weird though.
Artifact detected.
Alright, so let's assign some droids to this and
Artifact detected.
see what that does.
Artifact detected. Assigned to commander. Unit under attack. 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 Unit under attack.
I thought that the rank actually applied to all the droids, not just the commander
Unit
itself.
under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Actually, let me just get rid of all these droids. Start over.
Unit under attack.
If I saw that correctly, it seems like the commander's doing quite a bit of damage with the penetrate and the radius effect. But I want this thing to die so I can start on it. So it actually achieved the highest rank, I'm pretty sure.
Unit under attack.
Alright, so just commander by itself. Let's see what this thing does. And let's check the health of these droids first. Yeah, so, well, I don't know. So it's a mix.
Unit under attack.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's pretty lethal, somewhat, maybe. Better than it was before, I'll just put it like that. Oh yeah, look at, the rank is flying up on this
Unit
thing.
under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Artifact recovered.
Yep, I think that's it. In order to make the commander worthwhile, I think it's got to be a combination of the penetration attribute and a blast radius. So now the next thing we could do is maybe make research upgrades for this thing. I think they were at one time added in the game and then we removed them because this thing is so worthless that we basically removed every aspect of it we could. Alright, let's move on. What else we got? Yeah, let's do a Nexus link. So, I think I need to start over to test this from, let's use a different map to test this out. Actually, I think we want a T3 game for this. Yeah, go figure, the last page. Whoops. Okay, so we're just going to put that there. And now I'm going to switch teams. Well, before I do that, I need to design some droids that we're going to test against. So I want something with a lot of hit points. Then I want something with few hit points. And then, let's see what else we want. Yeah, let's just do that. Alright, so we can switch teams. Add these enemy droids in. And now I want to understand how fast does this change. Whoa, that was really fast.
Production
right.
completed. Production completed.
What about for light bodies?
Production completed. Production completed.
So what I'm testing is, does the amount of hit points a tank has, does that affect how fast it changes?
Production completed.
It would appear not. That was pretty quick for Dragon. Let me try that again. Hold up. No, it doesn't even appear that the amount of hit points a droid has, which I thought, that's not what I thought how that worked. I already modded this a long time ago. It kind of appears to already be balanced. Let's just check the stats on it really quick. Just mark this with a color.
Artifact detected. Construction completed.
Yeah, so the original damage was 2,
Production
and now I
completed.
have it doing 10.
Production completed.
So that's why it's already kind of rebalanced.
Production completed. Production completed.
I can't remember if I gave this a penetrate attribute as well. Let's see. No. No, it would be OP
completed.
then.
Artifact detected. Production completed. Production completed.
Alright, well, looks like that's already fixed. So let's do this. Let's fix the Supercrete and Plascrete models. So in the mod that I created, I differentiated the types of walls. So you can make...
completed.
Let me just add it really quick. So this was the original wall model, which I'm now calling
Production completed.
Supercrete.
Production completed. Production completed. Production completed. Production completed.
This came from the Art Revolution mod.
Production completed.
That's the new Plasteel model. So that's a Plasteel wall. This came from Contingency mod. I called this Reinforced
Major research
Plascrete.
completed. Production completed.
So this is a Plascrete wall. And then this is the original Hardcrete. Well, no, it's the base model in this mod, but
detected.
in the original game, I don't think it even exists. Alright, so we're calling this Hardcrete, that's Supercrete, that's Plascrete, and that's Plasteel. But the problem is, for these two models, one of these two models, they don't attach nicely, and that's because I forgot to add the graphical mods in for that. So let's go ahead and do that, and I'll show you what I mean. So if we go to structures JSON, I already have the walls highlighted here. In case you're wondering what all this colored stuff is,
Artifact.
Silence. What I did originally is I imported 2 copies of the stats, and then I implemented a diff-like feature using conditional formatting. So basically, if you were to change anything, it would automatically update. Let me see if these rules are still active. Maybe not. But anyways, the color formatting is harmless. It may look pretty messy to you guys, but the green was supposed to indicate a buff, red was supposed to be a nerf. But it got so messy after a while. Like if you look at the rules, from inserting so many, this used to be just like 2 or 3 rules, but after inserting so many columns and rows, it got sliced and diced into a million different rules. And now the color formatting is all over the place. So that's what the color formatting is, but you can just ignore that. This might actually be better to explain if we look at it in text format. So you can see for the Plasteel wall, which is this here, that's the graphical model for the Plasteel wall. And then if you've played the game, you'll know if you try to build a wall next to it, it'll turn into kind of like a corner wall or a figure 4. And so depending on what kind of walls are adjacent to it, there's different graphical models for the Plasteel wall. And so these 4 right here, that would be the equivalent of these 4 models right here. So this is the Plasteel wall. And basically the way this parser works, or the way that the JSON file is generated, it just reads every cell from left to right. And then for any arrays, like this is an array, as you can see here, it's an array. You basically have to have blank files going all the way around. So the parser will just keep wrapping around and around until the array is done, and then it'll pick up with the next attribute. So you can see for the Plascrete wall, there are no other models. And it's probably better if I just demonstrate this in the game.
Completed.
So let's go like this.
Production completed. Production completed.
Oh man, the AI is controlling these droids. Alright, switch back to the original team.
Artifact detected. Artifact detected. Artifact detected. Construction completed. Construction completed. Construction
Right,
completed.
so this is what I mean. This wall here is supposed to turn into a like a 4-way T, which should work for the plasteel model.
Structure under attack.
Oh, what's
Unit
going on?
under attack. Structure under attack. Structure under attack. Unit under attack.
Oh wow,
Unit
they actually
under
died?
attack.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's right, I enabled all technology, so that's why.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Alright, we're just gonna keep that for Baker.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under
Alright, back
attack.
to what we were doing.
Unit under attack. Unit under attack. Unit under attack.
Right, so you can see that's what's supposed to happen when we have the proper graphical models,
Construction completed.
and it's missing. So we're just going to fix that. So this is the base model here, and I'm just going to copy the same scheme. So if this is the base model for the Plascrete wall, BL wall 3, I think I have to go back to the original mod to find this, which, yeah, I got it right here. So where is BL wall 3? Yeah. So we need these. And what's the other one? Oh, C1 for corner. Is there a BL wall C somewhere? It does not appear to be. Oh, I think BL wall 5. So I think that's it. I just pasted it here because I don't know, my computer's stupid. I can't paste to my desktop directly sometimes. I don't know if we need to rename these or not. I guess we could check really quick. Let's do this. Oh, the 5 is for the reinforced version. Okay, so there is a difference between BL wall 5 and BL wall 3. Well, we've got these at least. I think we're missing the corner wall, but we have whatever those other two are. And I don't think we need to rename them either. Alright, so let's just take these. And then, since this reads left to right, I need to shift down all these other attributes so that this parses correctly, like that. We don't need this extra row. We're still missing one graphical model here, but we'll see what happens. And then we just need to change the numbers here. So the parser, the way this works, it reads this very first column. That's how it maintains the order. So as long as these have some kind of order to them, that's how the parser works. And then you just press Alt F11 to update the export range. So we're working on the structure, and we added 2 rows. So we're going to change the export range from 519 to 521. And that's basically the row number there. And that should be it. Let me just verify really quick again. Actually, I don't think this is going to come out right because I resized this and these haven't been resized yet.
On our way.
But we're going to find out. I think I gotta actually add these in as well.
Construction completed. Construction completed.
Yeah, see, that didn't come out right. So what we have a left corner and a right corner, but we don't have the cross middle. I'm sure it's in here, it's just not named right or something. It's gotta be one of these. Oh, that's right. So that's the other thing. You can see the size. That was the original size. I made the wall like twice as thick. So let's do that. Let's resize that. Where is the base model at? It should just be BL Wall 3, right? Apparently I think that's already in the base. That's not even part of a mod, that's just part of the original game, I think. Let's see. Well, that might be the reason why we can't find it in there. 0. Oh yeah, so it's already in the game. That's a relief. Yeah, it's not letting me paste directly, so just paste it to some random folder first. No. This game. Alright, so this is the original size. And what do we have for a modded size? I'm basically just looking for the factor of what I multiplied all these numbers by. Wait, say what? This is already in there? BL wall C3? Oh my goodness. Alright, so apparently it's already in the mod. You can just use decimals for this. I don't want to redo all the rows. And then we just need to update the export range again. Make that 522.
On our way.
So this is the modded version. And then this is the original. Okay, so 1.25 is what we multiplied it by. And then for this column, it's twice the value. Basically, I use Excel to resize these numbers. It's a lot faster. That didn't come out right. What's up with that? Say what? It should be space delimited. Okay, yeah, I guess didn't really appear right in the menu. So, if we just go like this. Oops. Oh, that didn't come out right. What's up? Oh, it's by 20. Whoops. Why are there quotation marks? This is jacked. What's going on here? I've never had that problem before. Maybe we could just do a find and replace on all these. Yeah. So that model is done. Let's do the left side. Actually, I think I'm just going to paste over the top of this. Alright, this should be it. So now we just resize these three models. Should be able to just paste. Oh, I gotta quit the game first. Give it all these temporaries. And that should be it. Let's see if this works. I don't think it really matters on the map on this.
Power resource, power resource, power resource.
Oh man, why is that jacked up? I don't think I pasted the stats, that's why. I think I forgot to do that. Yeah, that's correct. Just wanted to verify everything was correct.
Power resource, power resource, power resource. Construction completed. Structure under attack. Power resource. Structure under attack. Construction completed. Structure under attack. Structure under attack.
That's it?
Structure under attack.
Well, that's kind of jacked. I don't know. If I was an engineer, I wouldn't build a wall that looks like that. But I think that's just how it's going to have to come out due to the way I resized it.
Structure under attack.
Actually, I know what the problem is. So this is an example of where you can't resize something in Notepad++. Like you have to have an actual graphics editor So the resizing we did worked for the main part of the wall, but you can see the little T part there. That's not resized properly because, well, in Notepad++, all we did is just applied some constant factor and made everything larger with the exception of the T's. So this is something a graphics person is going to actually have to do. But at least it's better than what it was before. I mean, we have a T of some sort, and the main part of the wall is good. That's just a little jacked looking from that perspective. But nonetheless, you get the idea of how we can adjust things, adjust the size of models. So one other thing I want to do, we'll just move on to the next thing, is I want to resize this storage facility. I took this from the WC Graphics mod, and I'll show you that building here. So originally this was a research center. I just took it out of some mod. So I was thinking that we could use this to increase the maximum number of units allowed for a player.
Structure under attack.
Like I said, this was originally a research facility from some other mod. So what I want to do is I'm going to make this. Right now it's 2x2. I'm going to make it 4x2, and then I want to make it twice as tall as well. And I'll just give you an example of a building that I already made, very much taller. This was the command center from the Art Revolution mod. And you can see that's what happens when you just multiply it by a constant factor in Notepad++. So we're going to make this twice as tall and twice as long. And the other thing we need to do, since this was originally a research center, this is the non-upgraded version. I'm going to just swap that out for the upgraded version, which has a few more things in the top of the building. So 3 things. We're going to swap out the model for the upgraded version. We're going to make it twice as long and twice as tall. So let's go back to the original mod that this came from. So this is the original name here, BLB Resky. That's it right there. I think, yeah, that's it. Oh, that's right. So, but we're looking for the upgraded version. So Resky 4. Is there a such model in here as that? Yeah, this one right here. And then I'm just going to rename this because if I don't, it's going to collide with the original model. So I just basically make a new model by renaming it. Let's just go ahead and rename that right now. I'll be right back, guys. Gotta use the bathroom. Alright, I'm back. Too much coffee. So obviously these refer to the X, Y, Z. I just forget which one is the X and which is the Y and the Z. So we want to make this twice as tall and twice as long, but not twice as wide. I suppose the X and the Y in this context doesn't really matter too much. Let's see. Well, in the last model we did the last two columns. I don't know. We'll just see what happens. So we're going to go this by 2. And that by 2. And we'll just keep this the same. So this is how the last model should have came out without the quotation marks. I don't know why the last one had quotation marks. And I don't know why I'm having to do this either, but... And then maybe we could just tab this out, hopefully. I don't think the tabs and the space actually matter, but... Alright, so let's just add this into the mod really quick. Oh my goodness. And then the only tricky part, well, I shouldn't say tricky, but in regards to the X and the Y, so there's the breadth and the length, which corresponds to the X and Y respectively. I'm just going to guess which one is which. So I'm going to say the breadth. We'll make the breadth 4. So originally it was 2, and so was the width. So it was 2 by 2. Now it's 2 by 4. Hopefully we picked the right attribute, and we're about to find out. Is there anything else we need to change? No.
On our way.
Should be good. Oh yeah, there actually is. Yep. So underneath the structure, there's what's called a base model. No. Well, I don't know how to describe it. You'll see. But that needs to be updated as well. And I already have one that's 4 by 2. Where's the upgraded cyborg factory? Actually, you know what? I changed the wrong attribute anyways. That would have not worked. So that goes there, and then the actual model goes here. I think that's in there twice. I don't think it makes a difference.
On our way.
Let's see what this gets us.
Power resource. Power resource. Power resource.
Alright, that's it. I don't know if I like that or not. The base model's screwed up. That's not very good. So that's what I mean as far as the base model, the platform underneath it. Basically, I stole it from this other model. I did double the size of a cyborg factory, and the base model there is the same one there. Fortunately, it on the bottom of the structure doesn't really line up, so you can tell it's kind of jacked up. I don't know what other base model to use. I guess I'm really concerned about the structure, not the base model yet. But yeah, that's a lot better. That's kind of cool looking, I guess. Again, originally it was a research facility. I'm just calling it a storage facility. And it would be cool if this structure could be used to increase the maximum number of units. And in fact, let's take a look at where that's defined at. So let's go to the base game. Actually, I'll go to MP, multiplayer, since I'm a little bit more familiar with MP than I am base. So in MP, if you go to multiplayer skirmish, there's rules.js. This is basically defines the rules of the game. And it's in here. Maybe it's just Control F for 150. Yeah, there we go. Set droid limit. So here you can define how many droids are in the game. It's 150. I'm thinking it would be better if, well, I shouldn't say better, but it would be cool if this was actually moddable through a structure. Let's see where this is defined at in source. So let's go to the source code. And we'll just grep for this function. And we'll want to output the results to that file. Oh, apparently grep doesn't like a parenthesis. So it's defined in Qt script funcs at line 4300, it appears. So let's check that out. I need to close all these folders, it's too confusing. Start over. Oh no, that's just a comment. Okay, 43. Oh yeah, duh, right here. So I'm just contemplating how we would go about modifying this such that it would actually read the number of buildings from a player. I'm not too familiar with this, so anyways, that's the idea there. What else do we have on our to-dos? Oh yeah, let's do the terrain table. So we can test that out actually in the campaign. So the terrain table, this defines how fast droids move given what the terrain is. Right now, it's not really distinguishable, and I'll give you a base example here. So this tank here is on the road. And then this one's on the sand. And if we race these side by side, whoops. If we race these side by side, the one on the road is faster, but it's only slightly faster. It's barely even noticeable. Like if you just...
Incoming intelligence report. Mission timer activated.
So, in theory, it should be significantly faster. So let's see if we can make that happen. I think, though, that if any of these values... Well, basically, I'll just explain how this works first. So this is the wheel propulsion, track, leg. So these are the propulsions up here. These are the terrain types, and then obviously you can just see the value for what that propulsion is. I think if any of these values go below 100, it doesn't have an effect. Just to verify that, we'll just set this to 5 really quick and see what happens.
On our way.
Let me close all these out.
Power resource. Mission timer activated.
Actually, we don't even need to turn cheats on for this. Oh yeah, I guess it does make a big difference. So that's 5. Basically comes to a standstill there. Alright. So set that back to 150. So I actually kind of confused. Well, I shouldn't say confused, but not really sure how to balance this best. I made a list here of the actual terrains and what would be faster, a set of wheeled propulsions or a track propulsions. So on sand, I'm thinking that they're pretty much going to be the same. Sandy brush, a track would be faster. Mud tracks, well, you get the idea. But that's not the actual values. So let's see if we can balance this out a little bit better. Road should probably be 200. And these are actually percentages, I believe, of the of however fast that droid goes. It takes into consideration all the weights and the propulsions already. So this is just a percentage. I think 200 is 200%, so it just goes twice as fast on a road as it normally would. I'm thinking of the implications if we just set all these to 200 for road. I think we should be okay. And then should we make things slower on any of these terrains? I'm thinking well, these droids already move kind of slow as it is in the beginning of the game. Let's just see what this does with 200.
Power resource. Mission timer activated. Incoming intelligence report. Mission timer
Yeah, that's
activated.
much more realistic.
Power resource.
So the droids that are on the road are noticeably faster.
Unit under attack.
Beforehand, you could barely even tell. Yeah,
Unit
that's a lot
under
better.
attack. Unit under attack.
Now it comes a question of what should we set sand to? I mean, this is so I already reduced the speed quite a bit in this mod. And most players wouldn't even notice, but right here it's sand, and over here it's red rock. Actually, let's just bring this up in Flame, the map editor. I guess we'll just switch gears here and go for some map editing really quick. So I'll just assume that nobody has done this yet. So if you just go to the internet really quick. I use Flame 128. It's a legacy version, a little bit older. I'm just stuck in my ways. I go with what I'm comfortable with. Sorry, Cowboy, if you're watching this. I know Cowboy made the Sharp Flame. I don't use it, unfortunately. I'm just stuck in my old ways. But if you can download Flame here, or there's an actual thread on the forums. And search through it. I forget where the Sharp Flame is. But if you were to use this from scratch, like if you've never done this before, you would install the installer or the portable, depending on what your OS is. And then as a standalone, you also need to download, I believe, the objects and the tile sets. So I'll go to my Flame installation directory, which is here. So you need to have the objects, that's pretty much all the stats. Well, I'll show you what the objects are in the game. So this is the very first map that we start off on. And when I say objects, you go to place object. This is all the features, structures, and droids. So you have to actually import those separately. It's a separate download from the actual map editor. And I think that's pretty much it. So the tile sets of the objects are separate from the map editing software. I think that's pretty straightforward. And then once you boot it up, you would, depending if you want to go multiplayer or base maps, I'll just show you where the campaign maps are at really quick. They're in the WRF folder, so Cam 1, Cam 2, those are your campaigns. And you can see these are the maps or the games. I've already got it set up so that, and I've been editing this. You can see the timestamps. I've been editing this for a while. So I already got all my folders set up and everything. So it's really straightforward for me to just come in here and just pick the map that I want. But going back to what I was saying about the terrain, you can see, so these are the different terrain types. So that's sand, sandy brush, a cliff, water. The difference, the color in the square in the center dictates what kind of tile this is. So this, for example, is sandy brush, but right next to it is sand. And a player wouldn't even notice the difference. Like if you actually look, you can't even really hardly tell. But nonetheless, those are two different tile types right there. And then going back to the terrain editor, you can see, so there's sandy brush and sand. So we got to be careful as to how we edit this, because it does kind of have significant implications as to how fast droids move. So with all of this in mind, maybe we could bump this stuff down. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back to this. I got to think about this. But at least you guys get the idea of how to edit the terrain if you wanted to. And let's actually add scavengers to a map. Let's do that. So what I've been working on the maps a little bit. You can see I've got a lot of maps. Many tabs. I basically created a GitHub repo to try and gather all the maps. So we have all these maps, and all these maps need to have bases and scavengers so that when you turn on these options, they actually work. But I know of a few maps that don't have scavengers, and I'll just go ahead and fix that really quick. So this is one map that does not have any scavengers, so let's add those really quick. Right, so there are no scavengers on this map. And I think I have a little palette somewhere of scavengers. It's been a while. Oh yeah, right here. So this is how the map editing works. This is right here. This is kind of like your copy and paste tools. So we're just gonna copy this up. So this is select. Then I copy the selection. And then I want to come over here and paste this. The selection, the original selection we just had was 8 by 6, so we'll just go 8 by 6. And then these are the pasting options. So we don't want to paste the heights, we don't want to paste the textures. The only thing we want to paste are just the objects. And then that's it. And you just paste it, and that's it. So we just added scavengers. And when you add scavengers to a map, you have to make sure that the distance between the scavengers and each player is the same. Well, basically, if you have more scavengers on one side of the map, then obviously it's going to be unbalanced for that player. So we're going to set 2 bases here. And then we're going to copy this. It's 45 by 6. And then we're going to rotate it twice. And that's it. So now we have symmetrical scavengers on both sides of the map, and I think that's all we need to do. So you can, when you select any of these objects, you specify which player it belongs to, and right now these belong to the scavengers, so we should be all set there. So we'll just compile this. We'll just call this the original name, theater. 2 players. We'll just click this box in case there's scavengers. I already have the authors in a separate file, so it doesn't really matter. And I just picked some random license. All the license and the authors are in a different file, so we're all set there. And I think, where do I want to save this? Yeah, I think I just saved it in the same folder, right? Whoops. Yeah. And now for this map, so this is a little bit extra, but for this map to be added to the game, we have to convert it using a script. It's processing all these maps just because that's how the script is set up, but really we only need to process the one map. And if we do this correctly, I think it should be... no, that's not the right timestamp. It's been a while since I did this. Yeah, this is it right here. So we just copy this and this. We'll add these into the game. And actually, I'll just add this into the repo here. So let's do this. Well, let me verify this worked first. No, it didn't work. There's no scavengers on this map. I must have missed something. Oh, that's why, right there. I think? No. No, that's not it. Why did that not work? Yeah, it was the wrong, I compiled it to the wrong folder, that's right. So let's rerun this. This should be good. There we go. There's our scavengers. Oh, shoot. I forgot to, when we pasted this, I didn't choose the right paste option, so rotate all objects. Dang it. I think that selection was 48 by 6. Is that right? Oh my goodness, I forget what it was. 45 by 6. There we go, that's much better. Alright, let's do all those steps over again. Oh, this is the wrong folder. What am I doing? I think I'm going to call it after this. Been going for 2 hours. Yeah, it's safe to paste it in there. In there. Yeah, that's much better. Might as well go ahead and make a commit on this Git repo here. That's it, just 2 files. Okay. Error. Say what? Did I not type the password right? Oh my goodness. This is why I can't stand Git sometimes. Yeah, never mind. Just never mind Git. Make things way too difficult sometimes. Alright, I'm going to call it there, guys. That's basically it. I'll see you guys later.